This program contains edited language and graphic imagery. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm Robert McNeil, and welcome to America at a Crossroads.
On the streets of Baghdad, a soldier's eye view of war.
Hey, what do we got down there, Lovato?
It's Iraq. Anything can happen anytime, but you never think it will happen to you.
I can't even describe how different my life is from my friends back home.
Just got hit with an IED.
We've been attacked almost every day.
The guys started shooting at us.
We lost 2 guys.
I love my platoon too much to let them down.
Now, the soldiers who must go in harm's way.
This is the war right here.
Funding for America at a Crossroads was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Additional support by
The military forces President Bush sent to Iraq were designed for quick, sharp battles with overwhelming force and superior technology. They were not intended for drawn-out civil conflicts with a shifting spectrum of enemies, insurgents, foreign jihadists, and sectarian militias, and Iraqi allies of uncertain reliability. The 4 years of fighting in Iraq and 5 in Afghanistan have strained the U.S. Army, the Marine Corps, the Reserves, and the National Guard to the limit, even before the current buildup in Baghdad. We look now at how they've adapted as the Iraq War has changed and demands on individual servicemen and women have evolved. We begin 2 years ago, when there was more optimism about the mission. As we see, U.S. troops were still adjusting to the strange culture they were engaged with.
We entered the market right around here. Took off running this way right here. The guys started shooting at us. I acquired some guys that were running laterally this way. I shot. I saw a gunner shot 2 guys right here. They fell dead.
Hey, we gotta go. That's a religious message. They don't want us to listen to it.
All right.
A sudden gun battle on a Baghdad street is one side of a soldier's life in Iraq. But far less familiar are the daily realities of their jobs here. What is it really like being a soldier in this complex and changing war? It's spring 2005. 135,000 American troops are on the ground. Their mission? To help secure and rebuild Iraq. A new government is forming, and among America's soldiers, it's a time of hope for the year ahead. This film profiles a handful of those soldiers during this window of time. A look at what they do, who they are, and the lives they lead. All of them work in and around Baghdad at 2 bases, Camp Liberty and Camp Falcon.
Hey, you didn't tell me this was ready, man.
Sir, they told me you were in a meeting.
Hey, that's crazy.
137.
There's priorities, man.
What's the priority here?
The priority is, it's clearly the coffee. Just kidding, I'm kidding, man, I'm kidding.
Roger. Understand French press.
All right. Yeah, Frank, come on, tell me what's going on. What else are we not thinking about? All right, go ahead.
Lieutenant Colonel Ross Brown, 41 years old, commands Thunder Squadron of the 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiment. Nearly 1,000 soldiers.
Okay. Anybody injured in 703rd? I went to West Point. I've been an officer for 18 years. Is that where it hit? But I've never, before this time at this level, had to make decisions and guide and lead people in positions that I knew could result in their death. All right, thank you, Russ. How are you?
Brown's job is securing this area, an insurgent stronghold. Just 1 month into Iraq, Brown is learning as he goes.
We've been in this fight for 5 weeks. We've been attacked almost every day with improvised explosive devices.
Improvised explosive devices, IEDs, are a soldier's deadliest threat. During this time in Iraq, on average, 30 detonate every day.
Okay, show me where the IEDs were over here.
The IEDs are right here on this side by these 2 lines. The IEDs are right here.
Just 15 minutes ago, Brown soldiers discovered and cleared 2 large IEDs here.
So it was like a command detonating device then, huh?
Roger, there's command detonating.
A few weeks earlier, a hidden bomb ripped a large hole in the road. Brown placed the bridge here to cover it.
What's up?
Intelligence from the informant is that 2 red Opel trucks went to the shops in the vicinity of the bridge and threatened that he would behead anyone that told coalition forces about the IED.
Yeah, well, we need to be careful not to bring too much attention to him or he'll get killed. This is the war right here. This is my problem. How am I to persuade these people to commit to us and provide information about the insurgents that are their neighbors?
For Brown, one approach is trying to find common ground with local Iraqis.
Let's go over here and talk to these guys. Tell him here's the problem. Today there were 2 bombs on that metal bridge today that we removed.
اليوم كانوا قنبلتين حاطين على الجسر الحديدي. قنابل 2.
هنا الحكي. يعني انا هو يدري بها اكو هو هسه موجود هو هنا ويدري اكو قنبلتين. انا كيف انا
قاعدين جاي يشوفوا. اشتغلنا قليل. He said the business is down because there's not a lot of movement.
To Brown, the problem at hand is the roadside bombs. But to the shopkeepers, the main problem is just trying to make a living.
بسبب الجسر هذا الحديد يعني هاي السيارات حمل ما تجي
Yes, I understand that all the cars can't get over the bridge.
يقول لك أنا أفتهم إنه مو كل السيارات تقدر تعبر.
Okay, I'd like to get the bridge fixed, but the enemy keeps blowing it up.
يقول لك أنا أريد. He said, yeah, we're against the terrorists, but how about putting some security by the bridge?
Okay, will they guard the bridge?
يقول لك تحمون في البرج.
I'll work with them. I'll move that metal bridge the same day they say they'll provide security and we build another one there that supports their vehicles.
يقول لك بنفس اليوم اللي تقول لي أنتم مستعدين.
I was stationed in Germany towards the last part of the Cold War, and I just think back to the simplicity of the Berlin Wall. The bad guys were there and we were here, and they wore a different colored uniform and they were readily identifiable. My enemy drives around a car that looks like everybody else. They wear a man dress like all the other men wearing man dresses, only this one's got an AK underneath it, and I don't know it until he's pulling it out of his dress. So it's a very stressful fight. There's nothing I found that's black and white. It's all about gray.
And in this fight, even after Brown's soldiers capture suspects, it's hard to be certain who are true threats and who are not. Just the previous night, based on the word of informants, 4 men were captured on farms near a recent bomb attack, and 2 of them are relatives of a local sheikh, a tribal leader. Brown plans to join a previously scheduled meeting with the sheikh's brother and surprise him with this news.
I want me to talk about it. He's got the names. I'm going to talk about the bad guys that keeps you in a good position. You just look shocked. Here, let me see the shot clip. Okay, that sucks. Work on it. That was terrible.
Brown has authority to direct money to reconstruction, and this sheikh's family hopes to be part of a road-building project. But if their tribe is to benefit, Brown wants their support in return.
How are you? Fine. Brown. Salam alaikum.
The sheikh's younger brother in the white shirt and an uncle in the head covering represent the tribe.
Good, good. Well, we'll eat and then we'll talk.
For Brown, it's a delicate situation. He needs local allies, but he also needs to judge where they stand regarding the insurgents.
All right, thank you. Hey, I'd like to close the door if we could. Unfortunately, I didn't just come because of good things today. We have detained 2 members of the tribe. These 2 gentlemen are accused of assisting the insurgents, the terrorists. And we have had other people tell us that they have been involved in attacks against coalition forces.
He said, I swear to God that I don't know any terrorist in my tribe.
He complains about previous detainments of family members by the U.S. Army.
He said they don't talk. They just put bags on somebody's head and they take it.
Tell him these are my soldiers. There is not one instance since my soldiers have been here where that has occurred. I do not hold them responsible for all the things that have happened in the past in Iraq. They do not hold me responsible for things they may have observed or heard of for Americans in the past.
He replies that members of his tribe are now being held. So how does Brown propose to start a better relationship?
How do I want them to start? I have no patience for being attacked in their area. Tell them. And they commit to me that these two gentlemen have nothing to do with the terrorists. Because if they can, I will release them today. But it will be based upon his word and his honor.
I can give you my word that if they had something with a terrorist, if you're going to release them, they're not going to do anything.
Then based on his honor as a man, I will release them today. Hey, tell me what they're saying.
Oh, we didn't know that you were visiting us about these two people. We thought it's something else.
Of course. I'll never tell him why I come to visit. Sometimes it'll just be for the chicken.
Okay.
Bye. Bye-bye. He was cute. Yeah, he's shy for a little while. All right, that was a good visit. I understand that they are risking their lives by talking to us right now. Where's Sam?
He's in it.
But I need to persuade him to provide me the names of those that are still working with the enemy. Okay. I think we can work with them. Don't you?
As squadron leader, Brown shapes the larger mission, but it's soldiers in small units who work closest to the ground. Typically 16 soldiers in 4 Humvees. From Camp Liberty, one squad is heading northwest of Baghdad to patrol its daily piece of the war. Their leader is Lieutenant Ron Maloney of the National Guard.
And the same routine as before. We go about our business in a way pretending everything's fine, but we all know in the back of our head, hey, it's Iraq. Anything can happen anytime, but you never think it will happen to you. Everybody wants to know, all right, who'd you kill? How many people? What was it like in the firefights? But the bottom line is, it's not like that. It's not Save a Private Ryan. It's not Band of Brothers, Shoot 'em Out. It's not.
Most days they search for suspicious-looking cars, for names on their list, for signs of roadside bombs.
This road has IEDs every day, up and down it. We get hit on this routinely.
These guys can get out of here, right?
Hey, Lopez, had that other thing check out that I asked you?
Search?
No. And who's this over here? The Madad. It's his wife? Okay. Of how long? Second wife? Normally we leave the women inside the vehicle, but I've been hearing the terrorists are dressing up as women. If you take a look, this is one of the biggest Iraqi women I've seen around here, right? Don't you think? 6 foot tall.
Look at her hand. Those hands are twice the size of my hands.
Hey, do we search this lady? Do we violate their customs? Putting hands on an Iraqi woman could be a big issue. Hey, Lopez, make sure you pull local security on. Just step back a little and just pull local security. Iraqi women have long hair.
Yeah. Especially in the village.
Okay. So the bottom line is we can ask. Take off the headdress. Should we ask him? Or
we must ask him.
Right here. We're taking a look either way. Let him know we're taking a look.
You must be taking a look.
We will take a look.
What
I'm thinking is, how are these people going to react? Because anybody can have long hair, short hair, turban on their head. Who's cooperating with you? That's the question. This is what's going to happen. We can do it here and make it quick, or I can call up higher, okay, and take him in to headquarters, okay? got long hair.
I don't know. We must be.
We don't have much more on him, so we're gonna let him go. Tell him, Ana Asaf, Makashin. I don't know. She had long hair.
Okay, Roger on the long hair. How did its Adam's apple look?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Kind of looked like a man, but outside it just possibly some guy being gay. I don't know anything else. Over. In this type of situation, you try not to second guess yourself, but you do.
At day's end, Maloney and his unit head back to Camp Liberty, one of the biggest bases in Iraq. It's 6 months into their year's deployment.
Hard work, Mom. I'm gonna go with the lasagna.
What's the food like here?
Real nice. You get Baskin-Robbins ice cream. You got a beautiful dessert bar. You got a salad bar. Basically anything you want. Yeah.
Ron Maloney began with the National Guard out of high school in Long Island, New York.
When I was a teenager, I came from a broken home, single parent raised. I needed a little more structure in my life, so I joined the National Guard. I'm self-employed, home improvement contractor. You know, from banging nails every day, all of a sudden that idea is, I'm a part of something bigger. It's the teamwork, the values, personal integrity, personal courage, selflessness. Not too many bosses out there say, hey, these are key requirements for you to be in this job.
Just to the east of Camp Liberty lies the urban sprawl of Baghdad. Every day, soldiers commute out from the base to work these streets, like cops on the beat.
Hey, assalamu alaikum.
Among them, Captain Mike Fortenberry.
Let's move back down this way and talk to people over there. Actually, get some little kids right here. The kids are the secret around here to success. The kids. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Love the kids. Kids are awesome.
You have a kid?
I got 3 kids.
Oh, great.
Hey, assalamu alaikum.
My kids ask where I am. Not my oldest. My oldest understands. You know, my 12-year-old. But the other 2, when they ask, where is Daddy? My wife always tells them he went overseas to help the other poor children so they could have stuff for Christmas. And my wife said the other day that she told my youngest that, and he thought for a moment, and he was like, they're not getting my presents, aren't they?
Captain Fortenberry, 31 years old, grew up in Independence, Louisiana.
Hey, sour guy, what you got?
I joined the Army when I was 17 years old. I mean, I never would have thought that I'd be sitting here right now doing this as a child. You don't think about things like this as a kid. You know, who dreams that they're going to grow up and, you know, be a rifle company commander in Iraq?
The data threat warning is pretty severe. We have intelligence that Al-Qaeda is planning on attacking coalition forces and ISF. They're primarily going to be aimed at us, so we have to be ready, especially when we go into the neighborhood.
Fortenberry heads the 135 soldiers of Charlie Company.
All right, let's go ahead and roll up. Ramp up, man. Don't get blown up.
There's always been conflict, and I personally believe that there will always be wars and battles. I mean, I'm not a warmonger, believe me. I mean, I would very much rather right now be at home with my family than here in Iraq.
Assalamu alaikum.
But someone has to do it.
Assalamu alaikum. How you guys doing? Everything's in? Come here. What's up, man? How you doing? Most of the people here are pretty receptive to us. You know, just certain few here and there that attack us. You know, criminals or insurgents. Hey, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Fortenberry. Yeah, Mike. That's fine.
I think the perception that some Americans have of soldiers is the soldiers who do stupid stuff, like the soldiers at Abu Ghraib. I mean, you know, if there was anything that could have set us back in this war, that was it. And I mean, I will reserve most of my opinions about that. But, man, I tell you, that really outraged me, because You know, to me, it's like while they were there in a secured area, mistreating and, you know, detainees, there were soldiers out here dying every day. I mean, you're a soldier, you're a grown person, you know you can't do certain things.
What's up?
Discipline. I mean, that's the key.
Just a few miles from Fortenberry's patrol, a newly captured detainee is coming into the holding facilities at Camp Falcon. The officer in charge is a 23-year-old lieutenant, Emily Ney. To her, a soldier's moral duties are not abstract issues. She faces them directly, on the job.
Even if they're not going to like us no matter what we do, we still have to set the example to say, you know, we're not going to succumb to this. We're going to keep our high ethics because that's our platform. Take care of them, we'll question them, and then we'll just have faith in the process.
All right, we need someone to post guard over here. Whenever you go inside the cell, you can't bring your weapon in there. There he is. This is him. He was involved in this murder of 3 ING.
They kept saying there's no weapons at all, no weapons at all when we went through the stuff.
They found this in a drawer. These are used as an initiator for an IED. Did Bobby look at this yet? I know, just talking to my friends, they'll email me, talk about, yeah, I went to this club last night and this guy wouldn't leave me alone, so I told him, you know, I made something up or I gave him the wrong number, ha ha ha. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, I just detained 2 guys last night. Had to tactically question them, treat them well, even though I know they were trying to kill us. I can't even describe how different my life is from my friends back home.
This is Ney's home now. The sandbags up top provide protection from enemy mortar rounds. During her high school years in Northern Virginia, Lieutenant Ney considered going to William & Mary or Duke University.
I think I was a normal soccer player girl. I had a social life, hanging out all the time with my friends, going out on weekends. Pretty, like, feminine, prissy girl.
A soccer star, Ney was recruited to visit a number of schools, and her last visit was at West Point.
So I show up there, and everything was lined up perfectly, you know, at the meals. They'd call everyone to attention, everyone would be silent, and I was just totally blown away. And I'd heard, you know, how hard it was to get into the school and what a challenge it was. And so with my type A personality, I decided that if I didn't go there, I'd regret it. And then next thing I know, I'm out here fighting bad guys.
One of only 2 women in Lieutenant Colonel Ross Brown's squadron, Lieutenant Ney is a military intelligence officer, sorting through leads from Iraqi informants to determine where the insurgent cells are.
I just find it fascinating to try to look into the criminal or insurgent mind and hopefully outsmart them. The prince of all of them.
The squadron plans attacks based on her analyses, and any mission can mean placing soldiers at risk.
We're the ones who make targets for our units to go out and act on. So it's pretty stressful because you know what you're producing is affecting the entire squadron.
Right outside the gate, there's always observers, cell phones. They're going to call us in.
Intelligence leads, like Lieutenant Ney gathers, are the lifeblood of this fight. Leads that soldiers continually follow up on. And today, a tip from his intelligence team brings Captain Mike Fortenberry and his soldiers to this neighborhood.
If I know anything, I tell American forces. But I don't know anything you say.
Every single street I go to in Cadre and Amarilla, everybody says the same thing, and I think it's bull. Okay, about all the insurgents aren't here, they're coming from somewhere else. I tell you, my neighborhood back in the United States, I know everything that's happening at all times. Yeah, sure. Hey, where's 3-6? You see that real nice house over there? I want to go in that house.
Checking out a possible weapons cache. There's some intel that got to us. Most of the time these are dry holes, but you never know. One day you get lucky.
You guys, if y'all see any suspicious individuals in the area, maybe sitting back and watching us as we drive by or something, you need to call us and let us know.
We are inside and we don't hear anything.
Can they call me?
A lot of women.
Yes, a lot of very young women with kids, no males. Hey, just finish up the search and then. Okay. Well, I asked the old lady where the insurgents are, and she just looked at me and laughed. They left this morning.
Someday we're gonna ask. Somebody's actually gonna tell us. Thanks, appreciate it.
Roger, sir. Hey, let's go ahead and move to the next site.
Back this way, we're heading back this way.
Fortenberry's first lieutenant, Matt Summerall of Mississippi, is 3 months into his deployment, and he's patrolled these streets hundreds of times.
There's so many days you're out there for 6 hours or 12 or 14 or something, who knows, and nothing is happening. You don't feel like you're in a combat zone. You just feel like you're driving through a really bad neighborhood in America where everybody happens to speak Arabic. But you got to stay focused, because if you don't, all of a sudden, boom, you know.
Hey, you okay back there?
I got hit.
Hey, where you hit?
I don't know. In my face.
All right, hang on, son. Just hold tight. Hey, get a medic over here. This is Cobra 6. Be advised, I just got hit with an IED.
Oh, damn.
How are you doing?
Oh, the rush.
You got a medic up there? I got one casualty, my top gunner. Stop those guys in the truck up there to your left. Hey, get some security out here. Hey, get a medic up here. Hey, Ed, you okay? Hey, check him out, man. Check him over.
These guys don't go anywhere.
Cobra 6, the IED went off on my vehicle. Start searching this building over here. Find the trigger man. You have to tow my vehicle.
Roger, sir.
Hey, search them. See if you see any cell phones in there for pocket.
Someone looks like he's talking on a cell phone.
Now, you can't leave.
Fortenberry soldiers scramble to secure the area and find suspects.
10 minutes, okay? We'll be done. Do you speak English? We moved to where the IED exploded. Try to figure out what type of round that was used. It may have came from over there somewhere.
A trigger man detonated the bomb as the vehicle passed by. The soldier spots some people on a rooftop with a cell phone.
He's probably calling his buddies saying, "Damn, dude, guess what just happened?" Yeah, I know.
The men could be part of the ambush.
What we need to do is push this security back up.
Fortenberry heads toward his disabled Humvee, a block south of the blast.
Hey! What was that?
A second blast. It hits near soldiers guarding the rear.
We just got hit, I think, with an RPG. It was very close to my rear vehicle to the north. We may have some casualties. Hey! You got comms with them? I didn't know what the is going on. At that time, I got scared because I knew there were people standing outside the vehicle. But I knew someone got hit. Who got hit? Just calm down and tell me what you got, over. Roger that. This is Cobra 6. I have a casualty. He's urgent. We're trying to get him ready for a medevac out of here. Also, be advised, we're getting gunshots again from the northwestern corner. Let's go, load up! Who's that gunner right there? Tell him to start shooting over the rooftops! Hey, let's go!
Five hours later, Fortenberry and his men are back at the base. This platoon has been hit 8 times in 3 months. But so far, including today, they've been lucky. Both soldiers injured will fully recover.
Sound the world like 50 cal. He's like, thump. And it's like God knocking on your door. And IED Alley, right there on Screaming Lady, like about 200 meters.
That IED that hit us, there was a moment there where I thought that was it. You know, the real test, I think, is that once you've experienced that, and a guy gets up in the morning and chooses he's going to go back out there again.
5 minutes, roll out.
Knowing that that threat was out there, that somewhere else a guy might have dug an IED, and that day could be the day that you or one of your friends, one of your buddies, one of your soldiers hits it.
Why'd you join the military? It sucks. You get shot at, you're tired, you're hungry, you smell bad. Believe me, if I had my way, I wouldn't want to go out anymore. I mean, what's the joy of getting shot or blown up? Yeah, the adrenaline's great, but I'd like to make it home to my wife. But I enjoy this job too much. I love my platoon too much to let them down. Every guy here will never quit simply because the guy beside them would think less of them, and they'd rather die than have that happen.
I'll see you later. Better. Hey, how'd you get that duty, man? Did you volunteer? Did you volunteer, Russell?
Negative, sir.
How did I?
Volunteered.
You were volunteered?
But I'm good, sir.
All right, you guys. See you later.
Lieutenant Colonel Ross Brown's squadron has also had close calls with roadside bombs.
This was brand new 2 weeks ago. Look at this thing. Isn't that amazing? They hit an IED.
It's one of some 50 IEDs that have hit his soldiers in their first 2 months in Iraq.
And we are so fortunate that these guys are alive and unhurt. But this is what happened. For a majority of the Americans, this war is something that they sometimes see on TV or sometimes read about. But God, I hope they appreciate what these people are doing. If they could see what I see every day, they'd be so proud. How you doing?
The soldier's life has deep roots in Brown.
All right, why?
His father is a retired brigadier general, and Brown grew up on Army bases around the world.
Yeah. How is that?
It's going pretty good.
Pretty awesome. Oh, but what are you doing? I tell you, every day I get more emotionally involved with these soldiers. Are you guys getting enough rest? We're heading out again tomorrow. You ready for that?
Always.
Every day, I love them just a little bit more. In the things that they do and the attitude and what they do to this. The collective energy of the soldiers, and I love that. Let's go look at these vehicles. And so while I constantly think about the mission and I think about those things, man, whose tank is this? That's a sad-looking tank, man. The thing that drives me and keeps me going is just the feeling that I have with these guys. And sometimes I tell myself, you know, you got to go for a walk and, you know, get that distance. That's what drives me.
Brown's soldiers in tanks and Bradleys are out every day securing the highways, especially the heavily hit main supply link with Kuwait.
This is my patrol right here.
Throughout Tampa. To head off insurgents on Tampa, Brown set up checkpoint 26A. Here for a few days of field experience is Lieutenant Emily Ney, assigned as a break from her intelligence work at the base.
We have an Iraqi Army checkpoint here. You know, if we get any reports of suspicious activity out there, we make sure they're checking it out. And they're the ones who are actually searching vehicles and everything. We spend most of our time in a vehicle listening to the radios.
This is Ney's first time here.
I'm excited. Good to get out here, get out of the office for a while.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what we were thinking, you know? Must be kind of...
Yeah, and there's a lot of activity at Land's, like small arms fire, IEDs and stuff. To an outsider looking in, checkpoint 26 would be kind of a depressing sight. Very barren out there and dirty. You have guys sleeping under a bunker, not really protected from the elements. I wouldn't call 26 Alpha luxurious. It's pretty much a big dust bowl. We call it moon dust there. It's like not quite sand, but not quite dirt. But for the most part, it's just a great experience being out there and interacting with the Iraqis, exchanging, you know, some Arabic words with them.
Let's hear some Arabic. What do you
تتقط عني قلبية أني أعرف أنت كذاب جبان. Yeah, that is, do you think I'm stupid? I know you're lying, you coward.
Correction, Control Base 1, they've RP'd a Black 652.
Just a few hundred yards away, where the Iraqi soldiers live, Lieutenant Colonel Ross Brown is stopping by.
Hey, go get me Ray.
They're part of 5 Iraqi army companies Brown has been working with and helping train.
Tell this Major, 1st Company and 4th Company have captured a lot of terrorists, but his company hasn't captured any.
جادين بعملنا وبتعاونكم ويانا انتم يعني.
We've been serious, working on the checkpoints, and hopefully we'll capture some.
How long has he been on the checkpoint?
ايش قد صار لكم هنا بالنقطة السيطرة؟
صار لنا شهر ونص تقريبا.
45 days?
45 days and no enemy. That's a lifetime in this war. Telling me he just can't wait for the war to happen. He's got to make stuff happen himself.
حسب معلوماتي الخاصة يعني منهم الأمريكان يجيبون مشتبه بهم هنا.
When American forces they capture anybody, They bring him here. I go and talk to the guys.
Right, but I want him to be the guy capturing him, not American forces.
يقول لك أنا أريد القوات العراقية أنتوا تلزمون الأشخاص ما أريد
Okay, now let me say this: has he gotten other names of other enemy that we don't have on our list? I mean, what is he doing to be proactive to try and get at the
enemy? أنت حكيت ويا ناس آخرين أو
Okay.
ماشي يعني؟
Okay. All right. Thank you. This is what frustrates me, because I mean, our ticket out of Iraq is the competency and the capability of the Iraqi security forces. It's the only way we're going to be able to leave this thing, and it's the only way where we can win.
While suspects are being captured every day, finding insurgents remains an often slow, at times frustrating task. North of Baghdad, Lieutenant Ron Maloney's unit is chasing down some leads, door to door.
There's an anti-Iraqi force, anti-coalition forces cell in this area, and a few of them went to jail already. A lot of family members live in this area, so we're going to confirm to see if they're still in jail, are they out of jail. Let them know we didn't forget about them. Where's he actually live, right here?
وين بيتك أنت بالضبط؟ هذا? This is his house.
Okay, and whose house is this and whose house is that?
Maloney, guided by a list of detainees, finds the wife and son of a man taken in a year ago.
I swear, for everything.
They've been gone for what, almost a year?
She wants to help if you give her information because he's her husband.
It's been a year since they scooped up her family members, and the family has yet to hear whatever happened to the father and the two sons that the military took to jail. She was pointing to her eye, and in the Iraqi culture, that's like promise or please, in tears, asking now an American for help, saying, hey, can you find my family members? You guys scooped them up, what happened to them? And here I am stuck in the middle saying, wait a minute, we scooped them up because they attacked Americans, supposedly, and now you want me to help you out getting them back. We had evidence that they committed bad acts against us. Tell them if they answer these questions, then maybe we could help them out a little more, but they're not helping us out. I need to know where she's upset because she's just a mom out there, you know, trying to raise 7 daughters, a son, without her husband and 2 other sons. So that's the way she looks at it, you know, that's a different side of the war. Tell them I'll pass their information up about their family members in jail. We'll try to get someone out here and maybe fill them in. We go both sides. Some days we're kicking down doors, picking up people like that, and then today we got to go over there and say, hey, listen, I'm sorry about your husband, but he's supposedly a bad guy. And whether she knows it or not, who knows? Good job, Jack. Dude, you didn't feel bad for that lady?
Her husband killed Americans. You try to help them out, they kill us?
She did. She's just trying to raise a family.
It's like, I can't feel bad for someone trying to kill me.
3-3, we're ready. I explained to a lot of my soldiers that, listen, it's not today or tomorrow we'll see the difference. Hopefully in 30 years from now, we'll see it.
With the turn from spring to fall of 2005, Iraqi soldiers become ever more present on the front lines. A constitution is ratified and a new government forms. But in response, the insurgents unleash a devastating wave of IEDs and suicide bombings. November 2005, 8 months into Lieutenant Colonel Ross Brown's deployment.
How you doing? What's up, you guys? How are you? Veterans. Are you done?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
If the enemy is going to attack us, is there a greater likelihood that he would attack us in the open area here?
Brown is grappling with a new phase in the insurgency.
All right, so now what?
Since spring, attacks against his squadron have more than doubled.
I think the biggest thing that's changed for me is before I had not lost any soldiers. And so the biggest thing that's changed in this squadron is that we've lost 18 men. There was a period of time there where we were suffering losses where I would have to force myself to get out of bed.
Brown's losses made up more than 15% of all the U.S. soldiers killed by IEDs during that June and July.
Being new to combat, I allowed myself to believe that we were going to make it through this with everybody. But, you know, this is war. And one of the worst days of my life, and each one of these days. Okay? Sure. I was fighting internally my personal sense of loss, while at the same time knowing that I was going to have more casualties if I didn't turn this thing around. I mean, I was a squadron commander, and I had to lead them out of this. I had to. Come on in, look at this work. All the bad guys and where they were last reported. Look at that.
Throughout the fall, Brown struck back with a major campaign of raids.
Hiya. All right.
Chaos Base, Chaos 4, roger. We have 3 detainees, total, Uday.
And he started what would become his most successful strategy on a small but deadly road, Route Bug.
Hey, 3 November and 6 Golf, Thunder 6. We're on Bug. One of the most dangerous places you can go. You can just feel the heaviness in the air. We lost 3 soldiers on this road. We've since come back and seized it, and we're holding it.
6 weeks ago on Route Bug, Brown turned one, then a second captured home into outposts. The insurgents responded by shelling this base nearly every night. Brown assigned a mix of Iraqi and American soldiers here. Among them, Sergeant First Class Ron Corella, 34 years old, married and father of 2 girls.
We'll verify before you lay in the pool. I grew up as a child of migrant workers, so I worked a lot in the fields, a little bit of hard labor. 2-800, lay at the poles. A little rough when I was growing up, but I think now that I look back on it, it taught me to appreciate sacrifice and hard work.
The insurgents rely on this area as a vital supply and planning center for their attacks on Baghdad. But since this base began, these soldiers have been continually disrupting those efforts.
Here we go. LT, you ready? Let's go, we're gonna work.
To secure a safer exit from the base, Corella wants to rig a simple footbridge over this canal.
This way, we can cross the canal directly behind the patrol base here. There's no way anybody can place an IED there. All right, come here, let's grab this. I just want to see if we can lift up an edge of it. We're going to test the theory out here. So we're going to put guys side by side by side by side. Right, ready? 1, 2, 3, okay, disregard. Holy cow.
This thing is what? It's wet too.
How the hell is that thing that heavy? That sucks. We have to build the bridge now. Hey, grab that one, dude. I was still in my junior year of high school when I joined the Army. All right. Prior to that, I was long hair, little hippie-looking kid. But I was very hot-headed. If you looked at me wrong, I'd get angry. It got to the point where I didn't like myself. The Army changed me quite a bit. There might be a reason we're in the infantry, not engineers, so we'll find out. Wait a hang on to it. Just so happens I get paid for what I like doing. Not the fighting. No one likes the war, but training soldiers and knowing that I contribute something to keeping the state safe and free.
It's 1 a.m. The bridge, like a hidden back door, will help them slip out unnoticed on tonight's dangerous raid.
The guy we're looking for is Adnan Salman Hamdi. This is a blacklist guy. He's a bad dude. We can go right behind the house, across the bridge we made today. We all know the danger involved. We all know at any time we can run into a possible ambush. But that's what we do. We let our fears get the best of us, and that's when we will make a mistake.
Get on top of that hill. You can see it. Yo, you buy this house. Say it. Ready? Yeah, go. We're hitting the house. And there Racky's at. Racky's. Yep. Go with him.
On a raid here 1 month ago, the same suspect, Adnan Salman, escaped, shooting as he ran. Now informants say he's back home.
Tell him to search the house. Okay, I got one male right now. Let me get his name. Shishmek? Uday? Yeah, this is the Uday guy we picked up before. Hey, ask him where Adnan Salman is, his father.
He's in the hospital.
Which hospital? You are lying. You mean to tell me your father is sick and you don't know where he's at? What was he sick with?
His heart.
Why are you lying to me? Look at me in the eyes. Why are you lying to me? Hey, look at me. You're lying. Okay. I'm gonna catch your father. Okay? I am. You know why? Because he's a bad man. Hey, look at me. Look at me. All right, I know you're lying. I can see it in your eyes.
My father, he went to doctor and he never came back.
Oh, now he's never coming back.
Talk with him. I will see him.
Hopefully we don't have to take this guy, because if not, it's going to be ugly with his mother here. She has a death grip on his arm right now, so hopefully we'll let him go.
Hey, 401, what's this guy in the hospital for?
He says his father had a bad heart, but then again he says he doesn't know which hospital or when his father's coming back, you know, so you know this guy's lying.
Yeah, I've heard that bad heart thing about 25 times now.
Take him. All right, they want us to take him?
Yeah.
We're taking him.
You take him?
Yep.
Tell her I'm sorry, but he has to go.
أجي أقول أنا آسف بس إن شاء الله مو يمي. عظيم أدري.
Tell him to come. I don't want to have to force him in front of his family. Come on. If he's innocent, he will come back.
يقول إذا هو بريء يرجع.
بريء والله بريء.
Everybody. Probably the worst part of the job, but guidance from hires to take them, so we got to take them. Try to be as sympathetic as we can, but we have a job to do here.
Micah, you know your routes?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, name one.
Bug to Nat, sir.
Bug to Nat, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's one. Name two.
Name two, Chevy to Lakers, sir.
Who would go there?
Bradley's.
Would you go there in tanks?
No, sir.
Micah, man, I love working with you. Okay, you're doing good work. Come on in, let me have it. Hey, thanks.
Here you go, sir.
All right, thanks. I remember when I first got here, and I was so overwhelmed with the task at hand and the responsibility that I had that I could think of nothing else but the operation, the soldiers, the mission. And I read books on the insurgencies and counterinsurgencies. Alistair Horn in North Africa, and on and on and on. Now I'm reading Harry Potter. I'm reading Harry Potter because Harry Potter takes me away from Iraq. Harry Potter lets me, well, my kids are reading Harry Potter, and so I can relate to what my kids are doing, and then we can talk about Harry Potter. I'll tell you, I don't sleep very much.
All right.
I can't get my mind to stop working most of the time. And the only time I leave Iraq is with Harry.
For Brown, leaving Iraq is still 4 months away. But for Lieutenant Ron Maloney and his platoon, a year's tour of duty is winding down.
This kid's just grabbing shoes, man.
Nolan! How many pairs of shoes are you gonna get? Okay?
He's like the big bad wolf.
They push to get nothing.
Gets a little stressful. I know how school teachers feel. So, whenever the kids are around us, it's normally safe.
Is it a fun part of the job?
It's the best part.
For soldiers in Iraq, the experience is one of extremes: tedium and action, frustration and accomplishment, and moments of small pleasure amid the tension.
What do you got? Let me see. Let me see.
In just a few weeks, Maloney will be heading home.
It's nice around here, huh? A lot of trees.
Ron Maloney has returned to Long Island and to his civilian life as a self-employed contractor.
I was gone for a total, I think, 22 months. Of that, I was in Iraq for 1 year. I was very upset when I came home. Still am. Don't like to talk about it too much. My platoon was ambushed. We lost 2 guys. I lost Caladine and Rios. They were in the same vehicle together, and that was the main vehicle that got hit. Just so happened this one day I had to go to the green zone, testify against some bad guys we picked up. So they left without me. That night I got hit in an ambush, taking fire from the rooftops, explosions all around. I just couldn't believe it that, you know, the one day I don't go on the patrol because I got other business to attend to, that something happens and it makes you wonder, could have I prevented it? Could we have taken a different route? Maybe they would have came home. There you go. Yeah, believe it or not, it's still very emotional. It is. It's very emotional. You live with them, you train with them, you fight with them, you command them, and I guess you never literally think that someone's not going to come back. You lose your best friends. We have a lot here in America, and most people take it for granted. Unless you're new to this country, you take everything for granted, our green grass and our white picket fences. But it's not like that over in Iraq. It was over in Iraq. It's not like that for the families who have sons and daughters and husbands that don't make it home alive. You just wish you could have brought everybody home, you know?
In the wave of public fear after 9/11, key congressional committees, like the House Armed Services Committee, which meets here, backed the decision to go to war in Iraq and the rhetoric used to justify it, including warnings about the nuclear threat that Iraq was supposed to represent.
The problem here is that there will always be some uncertainty about how quickly he can acquire a nuclear weapon, but we don't want the smoking gun to be a mushroom cloud.
With little dissent, Congress gave the President authority for military action, despite testimony that Defense Secretary Rumsfeld was sending too few troops. Even when no weapons of mass destruction were found, when the situation turned increasingly deadly for U.S. forces, Congress and public opinion stayed with the President's handling of the war. Voters gave him the endorsement of re-election in 2004. It took 2 more years of increasing chaos in Iraq, with thousands of Iraqis dying every month and U.S. casualties mounting, to make Iraq the overriding issue for Congress last November. And it took the defeat of many Republicans and a change to Democratic control here in Congress to cause the replacement of Donald Rumsfeld and the admission that more troops were needed to secure Baghdad. When we return, American troops shared their feelings about the war.
Funding for America at a Crossroads was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Additional support by